I'm Johnny Young Bosch, and you're watching Wolf Thunder Ranger.
Alrighty, now I am ready to tier list. I just had to give it a little bit of time since this patch update and things got fixed around. So without further ado, let's get to talking. So Connor makes this top 10 of characters to still be using today. His Tyranno staff is still godly on speed, good catch. Speed Cyclone, still doing a good amount of damage. Though Thunder Max Saber does not sweep, it's still good enough because Gold Kick is doing gold kicky things. 2-cost moves are godly. That 2-cost does make up for the rest of the 4s. Usually you try to cycle into Tyranno staff using assist just in case it gets Speed Cyclone, but Connor still feels pretty good to me today and definitely can put in some work. Number 9, I'm going to put Skull on this because Skull is actually now better. He does a lot more work now. He doesn't lose his counters anymore, and that's the best thing about the character. That was the one thing I had with this character, the one issue that was stopping Skull from being anywhere near good was the fact that his counter went down every time he would get hit. So, with that being said, the fact that that counter thing doesn't apply to him, he can now pull off maximum full damage with his breakers. And Skull pretty much has a good middle slot of breakers. They're pretty decent speed and can definitely trick the opponent up. If your opponent's playing a double block meta or just plays a character that has a bunch of breakers, you can also breaker spam back because Roach Rendezvous is going to help you with the stun and all that. And Fighting Dirty helps you with the rest of your strike moves to actually combo properly. So, again, not bad. Vantix is still in the top, honestly. Still a good character. Hack is a great special move. Does a lot of damage. He can build it up pretty decently, believe it or not. And Virus Transfer being a 3-cost, pretty much an insta attack. It's still pretty good today, and Glitch does do a lot of damage when obviously leveled up, so on and so forth. But Vantix still makes this tier list. He still feels pretty good to me. He's not as shitty as some other characters, but he can definitely still do a lot thanks to his hack move. And we do appreciate that on this character, especially when you're taking error damage or blue damage or whatever AOT damage you want to call them, virus damage, whatever. Believe it or not, Vesper does make this. I actually wanted to include Vesper for a good reason. Again, her super did save her with this, and her 3-4s is godly when it comes to this. Especially when it came to challenge mode. I mean, it kind of just opened more of like, you know what, this character's actually good. Because this is a special that legit can go into her other moves. Since the special can go into her other moves, which makes her a solid endgame killer. Which is, again, good stuff. Really solid stuff, and you're not going to get any better than that. So we have been getting pretty decent supers that have been having super armor. And she definitely makes the cut because, again, these 3-4s is good. Then after service rate, you're pretty much finishing up a combo with those attacks and calling it a day. Especially in challenge mode, once the opponent's at 8,000 HP, she usually kills. So, again, I actually gave her some dabs for this tier list because she can actually do really stupid in challenge as well. Guile, believe it or not, has returned in my eyes in a way since everyone's kind of really nerfed to an extent. He is still turtly as hell. His freaking bullet revolver still does a crap ton of damage if you look at the whale stats of an actual Guile player. But Guile is still pretty stupid today. I mean, he does have a bunch of scars, but I just put him on here because he's actually not bad for the rares. He's actually kind of one of the strongest rares now at this point. I mean, nothing's really changed in the rarity. I mean, Astromo is up there. She's gone, but Guile can still be very viable in today's meta due to the fact that he does have double blocks. And you're just pretty much playing a giant turtle game with him, so I thought I'd include one turtle character when it came to making this list. Anyways, Viper makes the list. This is why I really wanted to wait, because I wanted to see if they were going to do one more decent character that I could say, you know what, this will definitely replace some character development here. And this was good. Viper definitely stood out with me. I enjoyed playing her. She felt really solid. The fact that she does Ritual is a type of cancel, and Fire Breath is going to take a little time to get used to, but you'll start blocking it eventually. But it does have a really long extension, Fire Breath, especially when it can stop Aisha's moves, etc. So she's really good with this when it comes to her moveset. Her damage output could be even higher. Like I said, if you wailed her out, her breaker damage can hit almost in the 8,000s, 10,000s. Pretty solid stuff, really. I mean, that's Viper for you. She also has a glitch, apparently with Hex. She can break people's strikes. I guess it depends on timing. But we'll see if anybody fixes that in the near future. But we'll see. But yeah, Viper definitely makes this list of characters that are really good to use in Legacy Wars as of now. Next is Ninja White. This is your 4th. Obviously, Ninja White never dies. Tommy's still pretty decent enough to keep playing. Nothing's really changed. Okay, you've made 2 of his moves a 4. That's good. He still has a 3. He still has a 3-4 build, but he's still pretty decent to play. Still, when it comes to his super move, sure, you don't get the confusion, but mostly you go for more of a middle slot spam anyways with this character, and it's not as buzzed as it used to. I mean, listen, 3-4 was the real cut in it. But as long as it's 2-4s, it's slowing his ass down, and that was the most important thing. But he's still a pretty good character when it comes to middle slot, and that's never going to change. So, yeah. So your top 3. Daggerron, number 3. He got his Solaris Succession back up to a sweep, so now he can go back into his full combos. Mystic Carver is pretty solid for almost looking like an instant breaker in a corner. Golden Kick being Golden Kick what it's worth. But yeah, I think the Carver definitely does it. Awaken Flames is decent enough to still keep doing damage. Especially when you go into that mode, you're still doing some pretty good damage at the end of the day. Sure, you're not getting the pop-ups, you're not getting any of that juice stuff anymore, but his damage output still would remain kind of the same at the end of the day when it comes to smacking with a character like this in general. Number 2 is going to go to Aisha. Very strong character. Again, good breakers, good damage on those breakers. Strike. Underground attacks, mostly her bad resolve, but everything else she has when it comes to breaker spam is pretty solid, not going to lie. Maybe some instant breaker here and there, but Berserker Bear definitely sets her aside from a lot of the characters like Vesper. With this one feels a little bit more consistent most days. Vesper, I feel like there's a timing issue depending what move you have. But no, Aisha definitely kind of takes this top 3 spot. Just for having Berserk Bear, it's a good hyper armor, it starts a combo, then you pull in more damage with the breaker damage, etc. And that's what made her like a god amongst the characters of legendaries, because once she pulls off Berserker Bear, you're possibly going to be finishing the game off with a 20,000 damage combo. It is possible, especially at level 5 or level 7. It's possible to do 20,000 damage and end the match right there. So Berserker Bear is actually what made her stand out amongst most of the roster. And I thought she was a pretty good release because of this. Because of that hyper armor. Any character in any fighting game with hyper armor, I usually consider, okay, that's kind of stupid. Because that means they can bypass a lot of the stupid shit that characters can't get around. So, last but not least, Zyto is number 1. Should be no surprise to anybody why I put him at number 1. Zyto has an ever-changing kit. And that's what makes him very godly. Characters like this that can solve a situation in any matchup is good. Good character development, believe it or not. Zyto actually has an option for all the characters in the game, depending on his matchup. Fighting heavy shields, he has a breaker thing. Fighting against a character who has heavy breakers, he has a strike thing. And he actually has really good range on a lot of his attacks. So in the end, Zyto is a very strong leader at the end of the day. Get it? Leader? Cosmic Fury? No. Okay. But yeah, no. Zyto's solid. I mean, I think I was more excited for him on release, even though I wasn't watching Dino Fury a lot, but I do go by fighting game style and fighting game development, and this character definitely stood out as one of the best fighters of a fighting game in Legacy Wars till this day. Now, if NWA's thinking about doing this a little bit more with legendaries, I'm not saying they will, but that would be pretty freaking awesome, because if we got a game like that, that changes the whole aspect of the entire game, because with a change kit like this is like a game-changing device. Like, if you made a new game and it was like this would be an intense fight of not knowing what kit they're on or knowing what they're at. Just my 2 cents. But definitely appreciate Zyto for his worth. Number 1 character to be used in Legacy Wars if you don't have him. He's pretty solid. But next month we get a new legendary. We'll see if that person breaks our tier list. Will he break the number 1 or will he break number 2? We're going to have to wait and see. But Zyto definitely takes number 1 just for the fact that his moveset is solid as hell. So I do appreciate him for all his worth. So we have Zyto at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's your top 10, guys, right there. A little tricky, but I wanted to wait on this. I don't like to unleash things too. I've already been consistent with Legacy Wars in the past. Got kind of stale that I kind of already tackled everything at the end of the day, so I gotta wait for always new stuff to kind of drop. So I waited long enough to actually do this tier list to the fact that everything got balanced out, nerfed and balanced, and we have a final result on this top 10. So we'll see you guys around. Y'all be good. Y'all stay safe. Peace out, homies. Peace out. I'm outie.